All right, let's get right into it. Choosing a JavaScript meta framework, it's not just some small technical detail, it is a massive decision that can literally make or break your entire project. If you get it right, you're looking at smooth sailing. But if you get it wrong, oh boy, you are signing yourself up for a world of pain. So let's make sure that doesn't happen to you.
And this quote from Strapi just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling of framework whiplash. It's that awful sinking feeling you get a few months into a project when you realize you've bet your entire roadmap on the wrong horse. And the stakes? They are incredibly high.
And we can actually put a number on those stakes. Strapi's analysis suggests that just one wrong choice can saddle your team with over 200 hours of technical debt. We're not talking about a minor inconvenience here. That is whole sprints, weeks of work gone, just cleaning up a foundational mistake. So, what do we even call this whole mess? Let's just call it what it feels like, the framework whiplash problem. It's all about trying to navigate this incredibly crowded, super fast-moving world of web dev without getting completely burned out. Now, you've probably heard of the main contenders. You've got the giants, right? Next.js for the React world, Nux for all the Vue fans, and then you've got these really powerful alternatives like the super slick Svelte kit and the web standards-focused Remix. The options are amazing for sure, but that also makes the choice kind of paralyzing. So to figure this out, we have to look past the shiny feature lists and get into their core philosophies. And here's the real kicker. The biggest difference between these frameworks isn't really the features, it's their philosophy. It all comes down to this core divide between convention and configuration, and believe me, it is going to shape every single line of code you write. So let's be super clear on what we mean here. Convention over configuration is basically a design choice where the framework makes a whole bunch of decisions for you. The goal is simple: get you up and running faster by giving you a clear, well-worn, happy path to follow. Nuxt is the perfect example of convention first. It's magical, it auto-imports your components, it pre-wires your router and state management. You can get a page live in like 5 minutes. Next.js, on the other hand, is all about being flexibility first. It gives you that nice file-based routing, but the big stuff like state management, how you structure your folders, that's all on you. It's React with, as Strapi puts it, training wheels you can take off. And look, this philosophical choice isn't just some academic debate. It directly smacks into 3 key factors that research from Autodoc says are crucial for your project's long-term success: extensibility, ease of migration, and update stability. An opinionated framework might feel fast right now, but how easily can you bend it to your will or escape from it down the line? Okay, so let's get practical. How does all this philosophy stuff actually help you pick the right tool for the job? Well, the data from our sources gives us a really clear guide. Apache Software's analysis gives us this fantastic starting point. You're building a big enterprise dashboard? The data points you toward Next.js. A quick, lightweight admin panel? Svelte Kit is looking like a really strong contender. See, it's not about which framework is the best. It's about which one is the best fit for a specific task. And right here, you can see that philosophy playing out in the features. Just look at the initial setup time. Nux's convention-driven approach gets you going faster. But for those huge enterprise apps where you need total granular control, Nux.js's flexibility is often the better long-term bet. It's a classic trade-off, right? Speed versus control. And your project's needs are what will decide which one of those is more valuable. Okay, but now for the twist. The most important part of this decision. It isn't just about building the app today. It's about what happens a year from now when you have to maintain it, or even worse, when you have to migrate it. This is where the hidden costs live. This is what we call ecosystem lock-in. When you pick Nuxt, you're not just picking Nuxt, you're also implicitly choosing the entire Vue ecosystem. Its router, its state management libraries like Pinya, the whole shebang. Same deal for Next.js and its world of tools like React Router and Redux. These dependencies all chain together, and swapping frameworks means you have to rip out and replace every single one. And that cost? It is painfully real. According to Strapi, moving a project from Nuxt over to Next.js requires, on average, a 40% code rewrite. Think about that. That's nearly half of your entire code base gone, just thrown out and rebuilt from scratch. And if you think that's bad, going the other way is even worse. Migrating from Next.js to Nuxt means you're rewriting roughly 50% of your code. There's no easy escape hatch here. It is a one-way street with a very expensive toll booth at the end. So here's the brutal bottom line straight from Strapi. Once your project grows beyond about 30 components, it is often cheaper and faster to just throw the whole thing in the trash and start from scratch than to even try a migration.
That is how deep the lock-in goes.
So, this all sounds pretty grim, right? How do we possibly avoid this disaster? Well, the solution isn't to go on a quest for the one perfect framework that doesn't exist. It's about adopting a strategy that protects you no matter which framework you end up choosing.
And here it is. This is your escape hatch. The single most powerful strategy you can use is to separate your core business logic from your UI. Think of it like this. All the code that handles what your application actually does, that lives in its own little framework agnostic folder. Your React or Vue components then just become a thin, easily replaceable skin that just displays the results. You can swap the skin, but you get to keep the core. Which brings us to this absolutely brilliant, pragmatic piece of advice from Strappy. Don't get lost in analysis paralysis. The most important factor at the end of the day is your team's velocity. The best tool is simply the one that lets your team ship product, solve user problems, and deliver value now. So let's just reframe this entire conversation. Let's stop asking which framework is the best. Instead, take a hard look at your team, your timeline, and your project's specific goals, and ask yourself this. What does my project truly need to succeed? The answer to that question, that's what will lead you to the right choice.